My name is Jennifer Brady-Giles. I have been a registered nurse since 1990. I was working a night shift at the hospital where I live, and I went to the corner store to get a muffin, and on my way back about a block from the hospital, I was T-boned by an impaired driver that did not have a license. I had severe headache like nothing I've ever had. At some point, I was referred to physio, and a locum doctor did a very thorough examination because I had changed significantly. I got what they called scanning speech, where my speech was very slow. I would talk like that. I also was experiencing a lot of bad coordination and some falls. And I experienced constant, steady headache, probably around a 6, and any kind of activity or thinking, talking would make me vomit. She explained to me after a thorough neurological exam I had a traumatic brain injury and that it's not unusual that it takes some time for the brain areas that were damaged to be fully affected because you compensate. My career and my nursing meant I worked in very high stress situations. I was a site utilization manager at the University of Alberta Hospital for probably 10 years, and it wasn't the most liked person on the team because my job was to move patients when there was no space. It was a job where you had to make the best decision out of bad scenarios. Critical thinking and problem solving is where I excelled. And I loved that job, but I could go 12 hours up here, right? And wasn't phased. So even now that I've learned more about my injuries, that can be my best friend or my worst enemy. It makes me determined to get better. But I've had to learn that now it's all time-based pacing. My life is completely different than it used to be. But through counseling and support, I have to, they use a term called the new normal. I'm going to be honest. I get it, and I get it's coming from a good place. I don't want this normal. The grief and loss that I feel, it's always there. But if I don't use strategies, I crash. If I meet the demands from the outside world and don't control my environment, I crash and become an emotional mess. I had a very bad bout of depression around November. I spent all my time, sometimes up to 5 appointments a week, and then I have my ICBC and financial demands on the other side of my recovery, and they go in opposite directions. They have boxes to tick, criteria to meet. None of that aligns with a brain injury or the plan to recover. I made myself very sick by not knowing how to navigate the system and the bureaucracy. Maybe people who work in insurance, who work in law, who work in a different environment than me, they understand. I didn't. I still don't. But I've learned it's a big trigger that hinders my recovery. I limit my communication. I limit the time I spend dealing with ICBC. I tick the boxes as best I can. I've asked for accommodations to support this new disability that I have. I couldn't even say I had a disability 3 to 4 months ago. I would have denied it. But after ruining some professional and social relationships, I've realized I have to, because if I want to try to exist in a good way, I have to be in charge of that. Initially, with ICBC, those first couple conversations were, we've got you covered. We're going to support you. New enhanced care is there to give you and help you get better as quick as you can. I am a nurse. I have specialized in care coordination for the neuroscience program at the U of A. I know what enhanced care is. I know what full circle care is. I have not received that. What I have received is conditional care. Meaning that post-pandemic, well, I guess we're still kind of in it. We're out of the acute phase. But we have a health system that is overburdened, understaffed, and now I have experienced the bureaucracy and extra demands that must be fulfilled because of ICBC rigidity and financial, I'm losing the word. It's about the money. It's about saving the money they can save by cutting costs, which the only result is less care for me, more forms for providers. My experience is, when I asked for a list of what benefits I could be entitled to, oh, that is determined case by case. Well, no, I can't be the only one with whiplash and brain injury from a motor vehicle accident. Statistically, I would have to say that's very high on the list of injuries. So, case by case. Everything I need must be pre-approved by ICBC and by someone with no medical training. They will not give you rationale as to why one thing is approved and something else is not. Because it's stressful. My recovery hinges on therapy and care. When ICBC gives it, takes it away, gives it, takes it away, if your survival meant and your recovery meant therapy, that power over my life, my health, is the worst feeling in the world. It takes my freedom away. Takes my right to choose how to live my life. No, there is no body within the health system that is 100% self-regulated. It seems to me no-fault insurance and I think it's the NDP government who pushed it through. They have removed every right and freedom I as a voting citizen have because this ICBC makes the rules, decides what you get. If you complain, you can try to get a lawyer whose fees are capped and you'll never recover. So they won't even take your case because they're good people. They don't want to take your money. In the big system, I matter. We deserve to be heard. And I paid to have insurance. And the thing is I think the idea was good, how they sold it. If it actually worked that way, it's a good idea. Not the no fault, but the enhanced care. You got it right. Full circle care is what makes people better. But statistics also show if you make someone powerless, you constantly make them be their disability, they stay disabled longer. Because of how they've set it up, they instituted this change. There's no infrastructure in how they carry out their business to support the claims they're making. So to the government, to ICBC, there are two sides to every story. But my main thought, you have created a system that is discriminatory. You've created a system that is conditional. You've created a system that people that don't have support, I don't even know what they do. But it looks good on paper, perhaps, but it doesn't work. It's one giant discriminatory contradiction, in my opinion. I want you guys to fight. I want the Law Society to fight. Because I guess my final thought, I feel like it's many layers, because there was one, the accident. Two, that person who made that choice, they are young. Young people need to make mistakes to get better, right? It's just what they do. But no one gets better with no consequences. No one gets better when there's no fault. You need to have natural consequences. So again, I feel it's contradictory right there. And however the government has sneaked through impaired driving, they removed my rights to get legal help because the person wasn't criminally charged. I haven't done a lot of work around that, but I could have had a lawyer if they'd been criminally charged. I could have had a buffer between me and ICBC. I could have had an advocate that I knew I could trust. And I have directly asked ICBC to give me an advocate, a third party, unbiased advocate. We do not do that. Then I wrote, what do you do to accommodate a brain-injured person to get through your process? Again, no answer. Sign the forms and trust us. I don't trust you, and I'm not signing anything I don't understand. Then I got 2 letters of warning for non-compliance. I don't know what the third one means. I copy-paste and sent it back. What does this mean? They just don't answer me. So I don't waste my time. I put my time into getting better. But I live in fear of being cut off. And I think that enhanced care and no-fault insurance is nothing but a rabbit hole. There is no way out. There's no way to make it truly succeed. People have to be accountable, including the government, including ICBC. And what are they really doing with that surplus? They're just harming the public. Comes at a cost. And I'm an example of that cost.